Hello friends, I'm Urvashi. Welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I am going to be discussing the zodiac sign of Cancer as an ascendant or a rising sign. An ascendant is the personality that we see on the outside. It's what the world sees. So here we're going to be talking about what a Cancer ascendant is like. So if a person is a Cancer ascendant, how is he going to come across? How are the people going to see that person? So that is what I'm going to be talking about in this video today. Before I start, just to remind those who haven't subscribed as yet, remember to subscribe. The subscription button is right here. So remember to subscribe and also tap the bell icon, because it's only if you've tapped the bell icon as well will you receive any notifications of the latest uploads. So coming back to the zodiac sign of Cancer, the first thing that we understand about the zodiac sign of Cancer, that it is the fourth sign. So in the natural zodiac, we started from Aries, then we had Taurus, Gemini, so this is Cancer, this is the fourth sign. If you place the zodiacs in the houses, in the natural zodiacs in that regular sequence in the houses, so Cancer is the fourth house. So this is the natural fourth house. Now the natural fourth house has come to the first house, has become the ascendant. So all the things that are associated with the fourth house will now be strongly a part of the ascendant. So the first thing that is the fourth house is our home. It's our happiness. It's our comfort zone. It's our emotions. It's our heart. It's our mother. It's all the comforts and luxuries that we have or we crave in life. So this all right now has come in the ascendant. So this all becomes extremely important to this person, to this Cancer person. Home becomes important. His city, his town, his homeland, all that becomes very important. His roots, he is very, or she is very strongly connected to all that in life, to his or her mother. So this person is a home bird basically. This person is very attached to home. So the first thing we've understood from this is that the fourth house is what has come to the ascendant. And what is the fourth house? The fourth house is our happiness, our emotions, is how we feel. So the slogan of this zodiac is I feel hurt, I feel happy, I feel angry, I feel unwanted, I feel insecure, or I feel happy or unhappy or whatever. So it's all about feelings that the zodiac is about. And if we talk about the significations of the zodiac, so the first thing that the zodiac is signified is by a crab. So let's just talk about the crab. So what is a crab? Where does the crab live? The crab lives in the oceans, and the crab also is able to live on land. So that's one thing we understand about the Cancer sign, that they are able to live both in the ocean, in the water, and they have that earth element also to themselves. They're able to live on land as well. They're able to adjust. They're able to adjust themselves. Of course, this is a water sign. The element of the sign is water. So the watery aspect is very strong here. But the fact that the crab also lives on land, I'll come back to that later. I'll explain how, what we mean by this, is tells us that this zodiac, that the people who are born as Cancer ascendants are highly adjusting. Also, if we talk about the other thing, since it is a water element, it is signified by water. And it's a movable sign. So the crab, then we have water, and then we have, it's a movable sign. So water can also be like a water in a pond. So that is standing water, and that water tends to stagnate. But this is a movable sign. This is like a flowing river. It's a fast moving sign. It continuously wants change, like a river is continuously flowing from one area to another, through rocks and through stones. And so similarly, the sign continuously wants movement. The sign is represented by a river. It's a fast moving sign. And we see that when a river is moving, and if there is a boulder on the way, so what does the water do? If water is flowing down and there's a big boulder on the way, it finds its path around the boulder. So that is another thing we've understood here about the Cancer zodiac, that these people know how to find their way around. They know, once they have a destination in mind, once they've made up about reaching somewhere, then no matter what the obstacles are in the way, they'll find their way around it. So, okay, These people are homebirds. They love being at home, so much so that, the crab carries a shell on its back. It's carrying its home with it anywhere and everywhere it goes. Well, what does that mean? A crab is complete by itself. A crab, it's, at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, or any of us are, at the end of the day, we all like going back home. We all want to be back home. That's our comfort zone. That's what nourishes us. That's what gives us, that emotional fulfillment, home. And that gives us that security, that place that belongs to us. And the crab is carrying that on its back with itself. It's a complete person. It has that comfort zone inside of itself. That is why the sign of Cancer is a very, very nourishing sign. They are natural mothers. Even men who are born under the sign of Cancer are very nourishing people, people who take care of others, because they are complete in themselves. It's only somebody who is complete in themselves, who has enough, of that comfort in themselves, that would go out and try and give comfort to others. So this is a very complete sign. It's carrying that comfort zone within itself. It has that, comfort zone in its own self. The heart, this is the heart area now that has come to the ascendant. So for the sign of Cancer, emotions are important, but it carries that feeling of home in itself. It carries that feeling of being in its comfort zone in itself, so much so that it also can reach out and take care of others. So here I said they are born mothers. They are like, they're born mothers, these people. But mothers, by mothers here, I only mean mothers of their own family. This motherhood is not being mothers of the whole world. They are mothers only of their own family. They have that motherly instinct only for their own family, or for those people who come to their inner circle. These people are not very accessible. They're wearing that shell, remember, on their back like the crab, they're wearing that shell. So you cannot really, get too close to these people. So even though it's a number 4 sign, it's the 4th sign, so it's a feminine sign. Number 4 is an even number, it's a feminine sign. And the Lord is Moon, and Moon is the softest planet. It's a watery planet. And the sign is of the 4th house. It's the house of emotions. It's a very soft house, very delicate house. So it's a lot of softness that we see in this sign. It's a lot of emotions that we see in this sign. But yet these people are not accessible. You cannot really, they may look, or they may talk in a very hard manner, or they may be very closed. They may not open up, even though it's a sign of emotions, of love, of happiness, of home, even though those are the priorities for a Cancer ascendant. But they will not appear like that when you initially meet them, because it's that shell they're wearing. And it's only when you break that shell, when you get closer to these people, that you see that softness in them, that you see the Cancerian in them. So that doesn't happen too often. And once you've broken into the shell, once you've entered that inner circle, once you enter that close circle of theirs, then they will start acting like a mother. Then they will make sure that you're a part of that family, that you're a part of that circle. They will take care of you, they will nourish you, they will make you feel at home. So if you go for a party to a Cancerian's house, you can rest assured that Cancerian is going to take good care of you. It's going to make you feel at home. You don't need to feel uncomfortable. You won't feel you're going there for the first time, because that's the natural tendency of a Cancerian. The Cancerian wants to feel comfortable, wants to feel at home, and wants to make everybody feel like that. So we were just talking about this water, this running river, going through different terrains, passing by boulders and rough patches, and finding its way to wherever it wants to go, to wherever it is going. Similarly, the Cancer ascendant people know how to find their way. These people, once they make up their minds to achieve something, they are very soft people, mind you. Like I just said, it's the Moon, it's the feminine sign, it's a watery sign. But yet, once they have decided on something, they will achieve the toughest targets, because they know how to find their way around. They will know how to go how to cross those obstacles, how to go around those obstacles. And not only will they themselves be able to cross the tough terrain, to go through the rough times, they will make sure that their loved ones, their family is along with them. They will pull along everybody. They will make sure everybody is out of that rough patch, and they will pull everybody from that rough terrain to the softer, greener pastures. So that is the motherly side of a Cancerian. That is the side where they take care of others. They provide security, they provide guidance to their immediate close circle. But yes, to people who they don't know, people who they are not very friendly with, they may appear cold, they may appear hard, because remember, they're wearing that shell. So once you are inside that inner circle of theirs, then you can rest assured, if you have a good Cancer friend, that friend is going to take care of you. That friend is going to even sacrifice himself or herself for you. But it's only if they consider you a friend. It's only if they've let you inside that inner circle, if they've given you the status of almost being a family member or a family member. It's then they would sacrifice anything and everything, because remember, this is a highly emotional sign. It's all about emotions. They think with their emotions. So if their emotions are stirred enough, if they care for you enough, then they will go all the way to do anything for you. Now these guys are great storytellers. They can really tell a story well, because what do you need in a story other than, of course, the facts? You need to put in emotions, and these guys are expert at emotions. They are in the sign of emotions, with the planet of emotions. It's the 4th house, it's the heart that we're talking about here. So these guys can be great storytellers. One of the greatest actors of Indian cinema, of Bollywood, Raj Kapoor, was a Cancer moon. So these guys, they know how to put in their emotions into a story, and Raj Kapoor is considered one of the best actors ever in India, who could put in his emotions out there on the screen. So these guys know how to do that. They can connect very well with other people. These guys can be great politicians. In fact, one of the best careers for them is joining politics, because they know how to connect to people. They understand people. They get vibes very easily. It's a very intuitive sign. All the watery signs, all 3 watery signs are very intuitive signs. And Cancer especially is a very intuitive sign. It's the sign of the heart. So they get those vibes. They are able to connect. They are able to take care. They are able to nourish. Also, these guys have a very strong belief system. They very strongly believe whatever their beliefs are, be it tradition, be it be social norms, be it be religion, whatever their beliefs are, these guys believe in their, they have very strong thoughts and beliefs. So these people would never, enter into a commitment very quickly. They do not commit very quickly to anything, because their beliefs are very strong. If they've committed, they want to stick to it. They're not the kinds to say something today and back out tomorrow. They are, this is a very clearly fast moving sign, but it's a sign of the heart. Do they want to keep moving fast? But it's a sign of emotions. They are strongly attached to their emotions. They have strong beliefs. They're strongly attached to their roots, to their mother, to their homeland. They're strongly attached to their belief system, whatever it may be. It could be religion, traditions, family, society. So getting a commitment from them, even in a love relationship, in fact, especially in a love relationship, is pretty difficult. But once you've got a commitment from them, then there's no backing off for them. Then, even though they're going through a tough time, they're going to stick to their decision. Then it's going to be you who's going to, have to end the relationship. These guys will not back out, for sure. They're ruled by the planet Moon. Now the Moon is growing every day, and it's decreasing also. So the Moon is never constant. The Moon is waxing and waning, like all of us know. So these guys too can have a lot of mood swings, especially the Amavasya, the no moon or the new moon, and the Purnima or the full moon. These are the 2 times that these guys, these people, the Cancer people, get highly emotional. They are very connected to their feelings. So if they're feeling bad or hurt about something, they're going to feel really hurt on those few days. And if they're really happy about something, they'll be very high on those days. But especially the hurt part, because they're strongly connected to their emotions. So whenever they're not doing so well in life, failures, of course we all have our share of failures, these guys can go into a lot of depression, because it's the emotions. The sign is, it's all about emotions. So yes, they can very easily go into depression, but it will never last, because the moon is going to start growing again, and the moon is going to go towards, the full moon, when the moon is brightly lit in the sky and it's lighting up everything at night. So then yes, they'll bounce back. For sure they'll bounce back, and they'll be ready to, get up and fight again. So yes, it's this, if you talk about the division, so this is a Brahman Rashi. This is one of those priestly Rashis, very good at, very wise people, good at giving advice. So even though Chandragupta was the king, it was Chanakya who was the chief advisor of the king, that was giving Chandragupta all the advices, who was making his political policies and all of the policies for him. And we've all heard about Chanakya. So even though this is the priestly class, yet they have that fighter inside of them. And how do they have that fighter inside of them? Because the 10th house, when we have Cancer as the ascendant, the 10th house is the zodiac sign of Aries. So we have the sign of Aries in the 10th house. And people not only see what they see, not just the person, it's also our deeds, also our actions. And where is the action seen from? It's seen from the 10th house. So once they've decided on doing something, they act like the zodiac sign of Aries. That is what their Karam is like. The Karam Sthan has the sign of Aries there. So they act like an Arian. Once decided, they will go all the way. That is why a lot of these people are great, politicians. They are really successful leaders because of this 10th house that they have. It's the Multrikon sign of the planet Mars, and the planet Mars is the planet for action. So these guys are totally action oriented. It's not just a talking sign, it's a doing sign. So they may appear very soft, because it's a very soft, feminine, watery sign ruled by the planet Moon, which is the softest planet, but they act strongly. One of our ex-prime ministers, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, she was a Cancer ascendant. So in the 10th sign, we have the zodiac sign of Aries. And if you all look back to 1984, the Blue Star Operation in Amritsar over the Golden Temple, that drastic action, that was a very, very strong action that was taken. It was taken because of the 10th house of the sign of Aries. So a lot of other politicians, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was also another Cancerian. So these guys, even though they may look very soft, once decided, and once, especially if the emotions are attached to the goal, whatever be the goal could be taking care of their children. So they're going to be big fighters. Once they've decided on doing something, once they're going to take care of their children, once they've decided on it, then they're going to be fighters. So this soft, mushy personality is going to come out as a strong fighter. Not that they're going to go out and fight. It's going to be a mental fight. Because remember, in the 3rd house, if we have Cancer in the 1st house, the 3rd house, the house of our efforts, the house of our action, is the zodiac sign of Virgo. And Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is the planet for the intellect. So that's how they act. They act with their brains. Their actions are all with their brains. So this is a highly intelligent sign. And they act strongly because of Aries in the 10th house. So we just talked about this quality of water to be able to flow through anything, to be able to take any shape. You can pour some water in a glass, or you can pour it in a cup, or you can pour it in a bowl of any shape, and water will just adjust. Or you can just let water flow freely, and it will flow freely, and it will bypass all the obstacles, and it will find its way around. So that's what the zodiac sign of Cancer is. This is a highly fertile zodiac. So these people have the capability, the capacity to do the most difficult things, to be able to adapt and find ways of doing the most difficult things. These people appear very attractive. They're very attractive to look like, because remember, they're ruled by the moon, and even in our Hindi movies and Hindi songs, when we talk about beauty, all those songs and all the lyrics, we always compare the beauty of a female to the moon. So these people are extremely attractive to look at, but not only are they attractive, they're extremely nourishing. Remember, water is not just attractive to look at, it looks attractive. A flowing river is lovely to look at, but water is also very nourishing. We need water to survive. So they too have this strong quality of being very nourishing to others. So feminine to look at and soft to look at and very delicate people. So they're not built very strongly. They are very delicately built, but they are fighters inside. They have that fighting spirit because of the 10th house of the zodiac sign of Aries. The sign of Cancer is the chest area. In the physical self, the sign of Cancer is the chest area, especially the heart, especially the beating of the heart, the heartbeat. The organ as such is represented by the zodiac sign of Leo. The organ, heart, is represented by Leo, but the heartbeat and the flow of blood is the zodiac sign of Cancer. So these people tend to have issues related to chest, issues related to heart, to cough, colds and coughs are common with the zodiac sign of Cancer. About their families, they are proud of their families. Normally they are born in good families, in kind of royal families that have a good background. They are proud of the wealth of their family. They're proud of their family. About their communication, they can be very analytical and critical. About their own communication, they can be very analytical and critical, of course depending also on the placement of Mercury. About their homes, they want to keep a very beautiful house. They want to keep a lot of peace at home. They want harmony at home. But if Venus is posited in the 4th house, then they tend to be too dependent on their mothers, because remember, Venus is also the Badkesh for a Cancer ascendant. In their thoughts, they are extremely secretive. These people will never share their thoughts too much. They will never share their love affairs at all. They will never let go of things. They will strongly, because we're talking about the 5th house. The sign of Scorpio falls in the 5th house, the house of love affairs, the house of their thinking. So they can be extremely stubborn in their thoughts. They will not share a lot of their thoughts about the love affairs, about how they feel or how they think. They will tend to keep a lot of things to themselves. About the children, they can be extremely stubborn. Once they've decided on doing something for the children, or they want something for the children, then they've decided. They can be extremely stubborn about that. If moon is well placed, then these guys can generally be lucky where health is concerned, because we have the sign of Sagittarius in the 6th house, which is naturally a sign of optimism. Where marriage is concerned, Cancerians aren't too lucky, because these people are extremely emotional. This is the natural 4th house of the zodiac, the house of emotions, the house of the heart. And what do we have in the 7th house? We have the zodiac sign of Capricorn, extremely structured, disciplined, practical, the sign of achievement, the sign of going out there and putting in the effort. And we have Cancer as ascendant, completely emotional. So these are two opposing energies, whereas moon is the signification, the significator of our emotions there. Saturn in the 7th house is the most dry, the most practical planet. It is the planet of our karmas, actions, discipline, structure. That is all what Saturn signifies. So somehow the Cancerian tends to feel a little unfulfilled in their married life. They do not feel that their emotions are reciprocated. In fact, about the rest of the world, they feel the rest of the world is too ambitious, too structured, too practical, because they themselves are too emotional. They are unable to understand why and how other people are so practical and so ambitious, because if you're talking about the caste system, the sign of Cancer is the priestly class, the priestly caste. So these people do not have that ambitious side to themselves. Of course, things will vary depending on the position of all the planets. We are just talking about the ascendant. The placement of the planets will have a big impact on the personality as well. But generally, if we only talk about the zodiac, then these guys are not so ambitious, and they are not structured, and they're not so disciplined, because we have this sign of structure, discipline in the 7th house, and they will feel that the rest of the world is too disciplined, too structured, too practical. That is how they will feel, and they will sometimes wish that they too were structured and practical and disciplined in their approach. So yes, where marriage is concerned, they will always feel a little unfulfilled. They will not feel reciprocated in their emotions. In the 8th house, we again have Saturn, the sign of Aquarius. So yes, if they go into occult, then they will go really deep. It's a very intelligent sign, intellectual sign. So these guys can go deep into occult, And if Saturn is well placed, then yes, they will also, be lucky where inheritances are concerned. About religion, about their teachers, their gurus, they will be emotionally connected. But at the same time, this will all fluctuate. Sometimes they will be very connected to their guru, and the other time they will not at all be in touch with their guru. Sometimes they will, take care of the religious rites and traditions, and sometimes they will ignore all the religious rites and tradition and whatever. So their belief system, their beliefs will be strong, but actually going out there and taking care of religious traditions is something that they may be careless about. Where their profession is concerned, there they will put a lot of effort. Once decided, then they will go all the way. Where their dreams, ambitions are concerned, they will want the best of cars, they will want to hoard money, they will want all the luxuries of life, they will want really balanced and stable friends. Because remember, Cancer, with the moon waning and waxing constantly, they themselves sometimes tend to lose their stability. They are highly emotional. So in their friend circle, for a spouse, they will tend to look for people who are more disciplined, who are more structured, more stable, more practical. That would be the natural tendency. That is how it will be balanced. That is how their lives will be balanced. So they will tend to look for somebody who is more stable, who is more balanced, and to be a friend of theirs. About their childhood, the memories will be very, very strongly etched in their minds. Because remember, moon is the planet which signifies childhood. They will be very strongly connected to their childhood, to their roots, to the house where they lived in as a small child. About the memories which have an emotional connect will be very vivid in their mind. Even after 20 years, 30 years, the memories that they are emotionally connected with will be very, very, very strong in their mind. So yes, Cancer they look tough. They may look tough to you because of the sign of Aries in the 10th house, because they come across, they will act firm and strict and, very goal-oriented. And they will keep a hard shell because they're wearing the shell on their back. They are afraid of being hurt. They have such a soft interior. They are so emotional that they are afraid of being hurt. So they will wear that hard shell around them. It will be very difficult to break that shell and get inside a Cancerian. It will be very difficult to get a commitment from a Cancerian. But once you've had it, you can rest assured they're going to take care of you. Highly adjusting, highly flexible, a movable sign, watery movable sign. It's not a fixed movable sign. It's not stagnating water. This is a flowing movable sign. They want to be on the move. They want to be doing new things. They want to be learning new things. They will face new situations very strongly. They will quickly change. They will quickly adapt themselves like water does. Pour it in anything and it will change its shape accordingly. That's what this Cancerian will do. The only real negative that a Cancerian has is too much of emotions. It's too emotional. So when it goes with its emotions, then it completely flows with its emotions. That is when a Cancerian can lose out on things. That is when it can lose out on big opportunities in life. I've seen Cancerians do that. They flow with their emotions and they give up important opportunities in life. So that is all for the zodiac sign of Cancer. We'll be doing the next video on the zodiac sign of Leo. Remember to stay connected, remember to subscribe, remember to tap the bell icon, remember to like the video, to share and subscribe.